Let's take a look at how the various commodities are trading at this hour. Let's start with the rupee-dollar pair because that has been, getting some strength. In fact, it went all the way to 62.18 and thereabout, and still 62.30, not bad, closer to 62. Also, to pull up some of the other global commodities, there's a lot of action happening in crude oil prices, which are structurally headed lower. And today as well, we are looking at 102 as far as NYMEX is concerned, and Brent is consistently trading below the $108 mark. So 0.5% cut coming in today as well. Pull up the MCX crude futures and let's see how traders are positioning themselves on the global, on the local index as far as crude MCX is concerned, 1% lower. So they are shorting right now. Pull up how the precious metals are trading right now. It's an important one because ahead of and of course, U.S. Government shutdown has led to some amount of safe haven buying. So about 0.5% increase is what the precious metals are trading with. However, gold MCX is trading to a completely different beat, 0.5% down as far as gold MCX is concerned. Also in this light, and also the way PMI data across the globe has been pouring in, US, the Chinese data came yesterday, Indian PMI came today, and base metal continued to remain on the weaker side, so 0.5% cut as far as some of the key industrial metals are concerned. So 0.5 to 0.25% cut. Aluminum is actually the strongest, in fact flat, but copper is the weakest, about 1%. Aluminum is trading, this is the MCX crude, so MCX prices. So they are not completely mirroring what is happening in the global prices. In fact, the weakness is slightly accelerated when it comes to the MCX local prices. Looks like traders expect weakness to continue. Also, let's welcome our guests this afternoon, coming in from Sushil Finance, Ashish Shah. He's heading the commodities research there. Ashish, thanks a lot for joining us on the show. How are you looking at overall sentiment for global commodities in the light of the two big factors which have happened in the last 24 hours? One, weak Chinese PMI data, and two, of course, the US shutdown, which is also stoking, fears that commodities would trade with a weak bias in the next couple of weeks.
I mean, definitely, if you talk of these two regions, US and China generally affects the base metal side, and US generally affects the energy and the precious metals. But out and out, the US shutdown, has happened, which is going to bring some amount of weakness in the dollar. So this gives an inverse impact on gold and silver to some extent, but probably gives a slightly negative impact on the base metals and crude. But however, I don't think these will be like the major market moving sentiments or market moving factors. Yeah, for the day, one may look at these opportunities to trade, especially on the domestic front, mainly because tomorrow also being a trading holiday locally, so traders may look at winding up positions or not taking too many positions, or one can expect a lot of volatility. But yeah, I don't think it's going to have a major impact as far as a trend changing scenario is concerned.
Let's start with the strategy which you are recommending your clients. Let's start with crude oil. What's your bias overall in the direction of the crude medium term? Yeah. And tell us the specific trading strategy which you have for crude futures on MCX.
Well, if you're talking of a slightly medium term, for me, medium term would be anywhere between 15 days to 3 months. I think crude may remain on a slightly sideways with a negative bias, though the prices looked highly overbought when it touched, the 110 plus odd levels. And also on MCX when it crossed near 7,000 levels, they didn't look justified. It was mainly because of the rupee factor. But I am expecting rupee to remain stable for the next 3 months, anywhere between 61, 61.50 on the lower side to about 63.5, 64 on the higher side. So keeping this range in mind, as long as the rupee does not deviate from this band, I see crude oil prices to remain stable between 6,100 on the lower side to about let's say about 65, 6,600 on the higher side in the medium term. I would suggest traders to be short on this commodity. Even for the day perspective, I think selling at current levels and rallies to about 64.20 would be good, with a stop loss about 64.35 on the downside for a target price of 6,300.
Right. And what about precious metals, gold and silver? What's the strategy?
Gold and silver, I think I'm definitely banking on the US close down today. But long-term scenario is still, I think, bleak. One can still expect gold and silver prices to remain slightly on the lower side. But for the day, I'm suggesting traders to buy gold near 29,680, putting a stop loss below 29,650 for a target price of 30,000. As far as silver is concerned, buying anywhere near 48,600 with a stop loss below 48,000 for a target price of 50,000 can be a bet for today.
And lastly, how would you recommend traders approach the copper? Because MCX copper, that one is taking a cut of about 1% today.
Yeah, I think copper in the last couple of weeks has never been able to significantly close below the 450 mark. 455, 457 remains a good support on this counter. As long as trading above that, one will expect copper to trade between 468 to about 457 on the lower side. So we suggest traders to buy copper near 460, put a stop loss below 455 for a target price of 468 to 470 on the higher side.
All right, Ashish, thanks a lot for joining us on the show today.